Welcome back. Conditions turning on for the fourth round with the last heat coming your way now. Mick Fanning up against Wiggolly, Dantas and Adriano de Souza. Adriano and Mick, last year's number 1 and 2. Locked in a battle here for a spot in the quarterfinals.
It's pretty silly to look past Mick Fanning anytime here at J-Bay. He is the man, and he got himself a pretty quick start here, pretty far up the point. Mick, nicknamed White Lightning because he is amazingly fast. He rips through his carbs as good as anyone, and you can see right here, definitely on attack mode. And the only thing that is going to keep that score in check a little bit is he was kind of climbing the lip, and he's great, you know, even in places like Fiji and Hawaii. So very solid world title contender.
Well, on that occasion, Adriano de Souza just caught a little out of position, and Mick Fanning able to capitalise with second priority, keeping Wiggolly off this wave and already onto his way to a solid start. He had an 8 on his first wave, and he finishes with a huge karate chop to the closeout section.
Not going to go old ever. You know, it's not easy to do. It's to have that much speed and power and kind of pull it off because you're laying back. You know, there's a lot of friction there. You can mess it up. As we see Wiggolly Dantas, look at the flow on this kid. So fast. He's gaining speed, and you know, it's all by choice. And take a look at this last move. I love that. You know, it really was an example of how he chooses to hit the lip right before it breaks, so he can throw a ton of spray. That's just how he likes to surf. It's very scoreable, and it got himself an 8.4. This wave, I'm feeling like is going to be the best wave of the heat, though. I mean, this is picturesque. Every adjective in the criteria, he nails it. And that last turn, an exclamation mark beyond belief. I mean, right there, that power, the medium-sized lump coming his way.
He really needs to get himself a decent set, and he's going to use priority to keep Fanning off this one. Let's see what the world champ can do with it. Driving off the bottom. Just a nice drawn out carve to get started. Goes to that back foot. Throws plenty of spray. Just dicing this wave apart. Needs some punch on the finish, though, to turn this into an excellent number. Solid, but just missing the fireworks we saw from Fanning on his previous wave.
Well, we'll see if we can pull up that amazing layback snap from Mick Fanning, just to give ourselves a little tutorial on a brutal classic maneuver that'll never go out of style. But first up, Adriano in his last effort. I like that layback snap he pulled off. Was it his second turn? As you said, Ronnie, back-footed, stomped it, but then the wave really lost juice. A bit unlucky for Adriano, so he just kind of finished the wave off. And he's got a 7-point ride for that. The second he put a jersey on, I think adrenaline took over, and this is what Mick is capable of. This last maneuver right here, this is just setting it up. How's that? Classic Mick Fanning tail blow. Crazy variety there. Always syrupy on that rail. He tends to get so much speed, and I love his footwork too. It's second to none how much he shuffles his feet back and forth. There's the layback snap right there. That is textbook again. That'll never go out of style. That is vicious. It's aggressive, but Mick, the way he pulls it off, he makes it look pretty because you know, everything looks nice.
And he's out there with priority. He needs an 8.58. And he's actually holding strong out there at the takeoff zone, and Fanning's going to swing into this one. Let's see if he can push the requirement high for his rivals. Bit of a sleepy carve to get started, and Mick knows it. He gets out of there. 19 minutes to go now. What's it like in this situation? You've got priority, you've been sitting there a while. You need to get yourself an excellent score for the lead.
Well, for Wiggolly right now, you know, he's tripping out because that wave, it's the tide's coming up and it just snuck underneath him. And Adriano's going to say, sweet, I'll take this one.
Well, let's see what this wave does, because Wiggolly let this go. This might have been his opportunity to take the lead. Adriano's going to have a dig at a 10-point ride here. Driving off the bottom. Throws his board vertical and kicks that tail. Great turn from last year's world champion, and a strong finish. That'll be Adriano's best ride. And just behind him, Wiggolly Dantas having a shot at the lead, looking for an 8.58.
Behind. and that's going to keep that score in check. He needs an 8.58, but have a look at the spray. Went so high, and then that second turn was really fast and crisp. So again, that's a bullet dodge for Mick, because had Wiggolly finished that wave and gotten back out into the face, the judges would have went nuclear with it. It would have went way above there, what he needed. And a pretty solid effort here from Adriano. Sketchy floater, but he recovers nicely. Nice little vertical hack there through the lip, but this finish is strong running. Back-footed snap right into closeout. So Adriano fighting back.
Couple of sad finishes here at J-Bay these past 2 years, but certainly will always be remembered as one of the best at this location, as we see Adriano racing down the line, and he will go to the air. Very classy little air reverse on the inside, but can't stick it. Wiggolly can take some confidence from that. If he can find a longer wall in the last 13 minutes, he's going to be a good shot at taking the lead.
This turn right here, so aggressive, and just great technique. He actually got quite a bit of projection off of that floater too. So the third turn was actually, you know, pretty good chunk of the score. But this first turn, watch the buckets go out of your screen. That is so crisp right there. And you know, there was a lot of flow involved there. You know, he was flying through the line, and this one different, a little more involved with the curve of the wave, and smacks the lip in the face. So just a slight variation, and then this one is going to be nimble and climb right back up to the falls and float that. That's much tougher to do than it looks. So I didn't mind it. You know, those are three real vicious, nimble, quick snaps there from Wiggolly, and
he's got a couple of big scores, but needs more. Needs an 8.51 to get himself into the lead. So he did narrow the requirement just a little. He goes to Souza. He's got an 8.27. And he is chasing an 8.74. And he's got a pretty nice little wall and a big section to play with here. He'll go to the air if he has to, but has had a couple of unsuccessful attempts.
So for him, he wants to, you know, really rip the bag out of this next wave.
Well, from way up the point, Adriano de Souza picks one off. World champ before that, had a third place finish in 2012, so 4 years in the title race, right down to the wire at the final event. And this year taking a break from competition and looking sharp. Right now we're seeing Adriano de Souza from deep tear apart a smaller ride. Nice float here. He is after a big number, so he really has to go mad. He throws the alley-oop, almost sticks it, and he needed that. He needed to do some explosive surfing then to turn that wave into a big number. And Mick Fanning looks like he's on his way to the quarterfinals at J-Bay once again. He has been in the final heat of this contest in his last 3 appearances, and he's on his way once again. Wiggly Dantas, a very strong performance and a solid heat score total, but not quite enough to overcome that man.
All good.
Fanning making his way in, a solid heat score total of 17.